In time qualifying, Sam Fisher qualified fastest of the fastest group, and he needs a big weekend. Outside the top 10 in the championship, but carrying 2 drop scores already, he might be ahead of Rob Nash for 3rd in the championship when other drop scores kick in. Oliver Hall starts on the front row with him. Josh O'Hagan is joined by Russell Endine on row 2. Stuart Osborne and Peter Jankowski will move ahead of Paul Williams in the championship starting from row 3. Rob Nash is joined by Paul Crawford on row 4. Aaron Jones makes his first A final comfortably in 9th place, and he's joined by the returning Club 100 legend Dave the Darkness Lewis on grid 10. Championship leader Anwar Barul Smith is only 14th, and with B qualifiers this is a grid of 24. The pusher car will pull off shortly. The pace control will pass to Sam Fisher. We're waiting for the red lights to turn green. We're racing at Buckmore Park in heavyweights. Fisher's got the Hall shot. Hall trying to get across on Josh O'Hagan, but I don't think Josh O'Hagan's going to have anything to do with that. Russell Endine going through to 3rd place. Peter Jankowski down the inside of Oliver Hall into hairpin 1. Can't make it stick though. The road goes back in Oliver Hall's favour into hairpin 2. And Crawford's got contact coming left and right, trying to force a way past Jankowski, in danger of losing out to Stuart Osborne. Anwar Barul Smith's been introduced to Dave Lewis, who hasn't lost any of the old dark magic. Paul Crawford from a long way back on Peter Jankowski. He's got it done. Stuart Osborne goes through, and Dwayne Marsden on his debut in Club 100 is trying to go through as well, and Barul Smith from 14th on the grid is coming through in what looks about 8th place at the end of lap 1, pushing Marsden out the way. And here comes Dave Lewis down the inside of Marsden into turn 1. Steve Billett trying to find a way by on the exit as well, rubbing side pods with his unholiness. Rob Nash going through on Marsden in the background, car number 12 in the black. Marsden's got the road in his favour though, sticks his nose back in, and Nash may have to yield on the exit. He's shown over the gear block, keeps it out the tyres. James English trying to find a way past Dave Whitehouse on the gear block himself. Down at the bottom of the hill, Jankowski runs wide, and this should be a chance for Anwar Barul Smith. Jankowski's goes to defend and keeps 7th place. Rounding out lap 2, Sam Fisher's lead is 1.4 seconds. Josh O'Hagan's chipped out 0.3 of a second, and Marsden and Billy come side by side through Cafe Curve. Contact warning board out. Kart 72 is Aaron Jones looking down the inside of the pair and going through. Rob Nash on his bumper. It's getting fairly lively in the midfield. Liam Hitchin with the red lid going down the inside of Billett as well. Marsden trying to come back to him. Round the outside of James English is Dave Whitehouse. They've all made it through and out of hairpin 2. Oh, and Whitehouse is sideways with a little bit of help from James English. Down at paddock, Anwar Barul Smith has pulled clear of Dave Lewis, but only by a car length or 2 as he closes in on Peter Jankowski. It's looking fairly comfortable at the moment for Sam Fisher. Josh O'Hagan coming through in 2nd place. He's taken another 10th out of Sam Fisher's lead, but it's still 1.5 seconds. Aaron Jones is doing his best to hold off Rob Nash, and Steve Billett is trying to push through on Liam Hitchin. Dave Whitehouse and Dwayne Marsden fighting hard with James English over 14th and 15th place. Whoa, and Dave Whitehouse locks up on the brakes and loses a couple of spots. Not sure if he made contact with Liam Hitchin or just got target fixated on his back bumper and ran deep in the corner, as so did Hitchin. Whitehouse trying now to come back at Peter Kay. Roger Mullen out of the B final as well. Back with English on the bumper of Dwayne Marsden down at paddock. And this finals is looking a bit racy compared to the pedestrian nature of the B final. Whitehouse down the inside of David Vorton in the blue. The road's back in Dave's favour. And Anwar Barul Smith's got the inside track on Peter Jankowski, and Jankowski's going to have to give this one up. Anwar Barul Smith is 7th, back with Paul Crawford. On the brakes at the hairpin, and Russell Endine locks up his brakes and makes a mistake and gives that position away cheaply. Hard fought, Dave Lewis pushing through on Peter Jankowski, who's not too impressed and is getting a reputation for being a bit pointy, wanting penalties handed out. That looked fair to me. James English is holding off Liam Hitchin for 14th place. Crawford closing in on Endine. Trying to close in, Sam Fisher continues to lead comfortably. Marsden down the inside of Billett. And that should be for about 12th place. Oh, side by side with English. English is going through. It's all change, and Marsden is through to 12th place. Still fairly frantic here. Much more entertaining after a pedestrian B final earlier on. Dave Whitehouse looking to close in and put a pass in on Peter Kay and Dwayne Marsden. Steve Billett gets in there first. He'll be slow off the corner, and Whitehouse is round the outside in the S's. James English squeezed towards the barrier by Vorton. Down through Simon Sweep, on the brakes through Pullmans, trying not to lock up and run wide on the exit of paddock. Whitehouse was a little bit wide, he's got away with it. Peter Kay down the inside of Steve Billett, runs him out wide. Position is his, and this could be a chance for David Vorton over start finish and into turn 1 to pick up a spot, 16th place. And Paul Crawford's gone down the inside of Russell Endine, who appears to be struggling in this first final. Crawford forced to go narrow to keep the spot. James English on the G-block on the exit, loses 19th place to William Monroe, having already lost 18th to Roger Mullen. Steve Billett looking down the inside of Peter Kay at the hairpin. Further forward, the battle for second place. Oliver Hall is closing in on Josh O'Hagan. Perhaps O'Hagan's made a mistake. He's now 1.8 seconds off leader Sam Fisher. So Josh coming through with Oliver Hall within a kart length. Over start finish, Paul Crawford looking over his shoulder for Russell Endine into turn 1. Turning in with a little bit of understeer there. Over to hairpin 2. And Endine goes down the inside, picks it up fairly easily, has to square off the corner on the exit, and it's going to be side by side through the S's, and Paul Crawford, uncompromising, has gone back through to 4th place. David Vorton side by side with Billett. Billett trying to go round the outside in the S's. It's a brave move. It hasn't worked, but he is going to hold off Roger Mullen, who's got William Monroe down the inside in a Simon Sweep. Opportunist move from Monroe. Great to watch. Back on board with James English. Mullen missed his apex, but he's got a good run on Monroe, who runs wide into Garda. But Mullen had to go in deep on the exit, and Monroe's going to get him back into Cafe Curve. And James English has backed William Monroe to go by, and he's looking down the inside. I think he feels he was squeezed there by Roger Mullen. Well, William Monroe runs wide, helped by Roger Mullen, it has to be said. Dan French having a quiet first final. Bit crossed up there on the brakes from Monroe. Takes a look at French. Has Mullen coming back on the other side. He'll get good drive off that corner, and the position will stay with him. So William Monroe is in 18th place. Sam Fisher comes through to finish his lap 9. It's 1.9 seconds. This looks like a 4-way fight over second place. Anwar Barul Smith is closing in on Stuart Osborne in 6th. Rob Nash comes through in 10th. This is the battle for 11th place. We're on board with Liam Hitchin. You're looking at Aaron Jones. Runs wide on the exit at turn 1, and this is a chance for Hitchin into hairpin 1. We cut back to Dan French, looking to the inside of Roger Mullen. That's the battle for 20th place. I hope you're paying attention. There's a lot of action going on in this first day final, and we've got the best coverage that you could possibly have. So French trying to pick up the throttle, trying to run down Roger Mullen. And look at this, Dave Whitehouse on the bumper of Dwayne Marsden. And this is the fight for 13th place with Peter Kay. Josh O'Hagan continues to keep Oliver Hall at an arm's length, and Paul Crawford appears to be at his limit and unable to close in on Oliver Hall, although he's had a good run through turn 1, and he's made it up on the brakes into the first hairpin. A chance up the inside into hairpin 2 from a long way back. Oliver Hall gives him room, and that might be enough to give him no momentum into the S's, and indeed it is. Now where's Russell Endine? Paul's going to be conscious of Russell Endine at the bottom of the circuit. Dwayne Marsden still ahead of David Whitehouse in their fight for 13th. Peter Kay unable to close onto the bumper. David Vorton coming through in 16th and looking as though he'll have a quiet run to the flag. Sam Fisher continues to lead, and it's 2 seconds his advantage. It looks as though he's cruising to the finish. Oliver Hall takes a look over his shoulder. He's looking for Paul Crawford. He's right on his bumper coming off turn 1. Looks to the inside again. Is there a move on? Not this time. Crawford is shaping up to put a pass in. Runs a little bit wide there, loses a kart length mid-corner. Might have better momentum off the corner. Still got to be conscious of Russell Endine, who's more than able to follow. Sweeping through Simon Sweep. We're back to the battle for 13th, and it's all on this time. Dwayne Marsden holding off David Whitehouse and Peter Kay. Ignore Philip Hudless in kart number 31. He's 3 laps down. Well, Paul Crawford is hard on the bumper of Oliver Hall coming out of centre up to Cafe Curve. Shuley's going to try and put a move in this time into turn 1. Oliver Hall, though, is getting a good run on Josh O'Hagan, enough to cover off the inside. Crawford now, will he come under him into hairpin 1? Once again, Oliver Hall goes narrow. He'll be slow off the corner. Can Crawford throw it down the inside into hairpin 2? Well, once again, Oliver Hall is just covering to the inside, making his car just a little bit wider than it needs to be. Through the S's. Flat through Symes. Quite an early lift for Paddock. Oh, he's up the inside, side to side. There's pod rubbing. This should be enough for Crawford up the inside into Garda. Runs him out wide. Where's Russell Endine? Round the outside. And he's got the run up to Cafe Curve. And Paul Crawford has put Russell Endine on second place. Side by side with Hall. There's contact. Driver standards board out. Over start finish. This is great racing in Club 100. No quarter offered and none taken. Down the inside, Oliver Hall really late and hard. Deep on Endine, but Endine's got the road in his favour. They're rubbing side pods and tyres. Dave Lewis trying to go round the outside of Rob Nash. Heavy contact that puts the Lord of Darkness in the tyres. And now Liam Hitchin's got a run on Rob Nash into the S's. Further down the track, and Russell Endine's doing all he can to hold off Oliver Hall and Paul Crawford. How narrow is that into Garda? And look what it's done. It's brought Anwar Burrell-Smith and Stuart Osborne into play. Paul Crawford not too impressed with the driving of Hall and Endine. Coming round to start their penultimate lap, and Crawford wants to be back on terms with Oliver Hall, but here comes Anwar Burrell-Smith inside at turn 1, easing his way through. There's a yellow flag out at hairpin 1. That curtails racing. They get back in line, and it's Endine in 3rd place ahead of Oliver Hall. Anwar Burrell-Smith, the championship leader, in 5th place. Hall trying to go around the outside. The S's is never on, not with Russell Endine. Down through Symes Sweep. It's flat once again by Crawford, who lifts early, unsettles his kart through Pullmans, misses his apex in Paddock, and Burrell-Smith is pulled out a kart length into Garda. So coming round to start his final lap, it's Sam Fisher heading to a comfortable win after a great start. Josh O'Hagan's looked in. The battle for 3rd place has released him into 2nd place. Here comes Oliver Hall. A yellow flag out at turn 1. I think Hall was lining up to go for that. He's had to back off, and that just might let in Anwar Burrell-Smith and Paul Crawford. For a couple of late passes, it's pod to pod between Burrell-Smith and Crawford, and Osborne's looked in down the inside. Oh, it's been a poor half lap for Paul Crawford. I'm sure I heard him swearing under his breath there, under his visor. And Crawford's a bit upset. He's pushed Stuart Osborne wide. I'm not sure he wants to go through. That could be a penalty. Looking to the inside into Garda, and he's through. It's a first win of the season for Sam Fisher, and it'll be a second podium for Josh O'Hagan. Endine pulls 3 points back in the championship on Anwar Burrell-Smith as he finishes behind Oliver Hall, who finishes in 4th place.
Third place then went to driver number 29, Russell Endine. Starting from grid 3, finishing runner-up. Driver number 2, Josh O'Hagan. And 2-out race winner then started on pole and won the race indeed. Driver number 32, Sam Fisher. Fastest lap went to Liam Hitchin in that race, 46.61. Well done, Kate.
Well, the eagle-eyed amongst you will have noticed a fastest lap set on lap 15 by Liam Hitchin in that first final. And with everything kicking off on the last lap, nobody was able to better that mark. So Liam starts this final from pole position with Paul Crawford for company, looking for a first win as well. Final 1 winner Sam Fisher starts on row 2 with Oliver Hall. The main championship protagonists Russell Endine and Anwar Burrell-Smith line up on row 3. Stuart Osborne and Aaron Jones on row 4. Josh O'Hagan and Rob Nash round out the top 10 of what is now a 26-car grid for the last final of the day. So Liam Hitchin trying to anticipate the green light and when to drop the hammer. Paul Crawford looking at his feet, and Liam's gone. And you can sense the frustration in Paul Crawford. He slotted into 4th place. He started 2nd. Russell Endine is through to 3rd. Sam Fisher, final 1 winner, in 2nd place. Stuart Osborne holding off Anwar Burrell-Smith and Oliver Hall into hairpin 1. and the frantic action going on behind. On board here, I think with Steve Billett looking to the inside of Roger Mullen, trying to pick up a spot. They've all made it through without too much contact. Sweeping downhill through a great series of corners, which are like the karting equivalent of the Craner Curves at Donington. Liam Hitchin leads, but for how much longer? Sam Fisher up the inside at Garda, and he's through. We're back with Steve Billett down in the midfield. That's Dan French going through on Peter Kay. Here comes your race leader, Sam Fisher, and Russell Ending's forced to move on Liam Hitchin, who now takes a shot from behind from Paul Crawford. Well, Sam Fisher out front. Are we going to get the 5th double winner of the day? This will be unprecedented and a little bit of history in Club 100. I've never seen anything like this before. Each class, both finals won by the same driver. William Munro holding off Roger Mullen and James English. Out of the hairpin, English looking over his shoulder, but right now it's Fisher, Ending, Hitchin. Here comes Anwar Barrell-Smith down the inside of Stuart Osborne. That's 5th place. The championship leaders on the march here. O'Hagan up the inside as well. Nothing that Osborne can do. He'd lost his momentum and he's lost some more in Garda, and there's a chance now for Oliver Hall into turn 1. So Fisher under pressure from Russell Ending. Ending to the lead. Ending knows he needs to get some championship wins if he's to beat Anwar Barrell-Smith at the end of the year when the drop scores kick in. Sam Fisher takes the position back. Hitchin wants the lead and a first win in Club 100. And he's got a mountain to climb, beginning with Russell Ending. And Sam Fisher, the first final winner, has shown good pace. Hitchin took a lot of curb there in sign sweep. Risky. Can always take a wheel off on some of the concrete that hides behind the curb. Down the inside, Steve Billett on Daniel French, runs him out wide. French comes back on and Dave Whitehouse does the pair of them. Oh, there's more contact. And Dan French has just about kept that off the tyres. Very easy to hook in and spin out. Hand in the air from Billett, there's a yellow flag out. James English acknowledges it as well. Ending back to the lead at hairpin 1. The crisscross is on, although Fisher's on the wrong side. Paul Crawford down the inside of Liam Hitchin for 3rd. Tailing him is Anwar Barrell-Smith, and suddenly Liam Hitchin finds himself down in 5th place with Josh O'Hagan, Stuart Osborne and Oliver Hall on his bumper. So it's Ending, Fisher, Crawford, Anwar Barrell-Smith, Liam Hitchin, Stuart Osborne, Oliver Hall in 8th place. Gap then to Sam Bryce, who's showing well in this second A final, having come through from the B. Aaron Jones, Rob Nash in 11th place. Peter Jankowski is 12th. And another lap goes in the books, and we're on to lap 5 of 16. Anwar Barrell-Smith is hunting down Paul Crawford for 3rd. Crawford knows he's there. Took a look over his shoulder into hairpin 1. Will he defend into hairpin 2? Yes, he will. He goes half a cart width narrower, which means he'll be half a cart width slower off the corner, and a chance for Barrell-Smith not into the S's. He'll be looking to nail Simon Sweep and Pullman's, and Aaron Jones has come to a stop at the hairpin. Not sure if that's through contact. Presumably it will be. Barrell-Smith looking to go through inside of Crawford. Goes a long way into Garda, but gets it turned, and then the road's in his favour. There'll be a chance for Crawford at turn 1. He's got a nail cafe curve though. Sweeping through, Barrell-Smith down behind the Nassau panel. No one's quite sure if it does help or not, but it feels faster. Into hairpin 1. Barrell-Smith in 3rd place, looking to go forward. The championship is ahead of him in the shape of Russell Ending, and perhaps Sam Fisher could be a player at the end of the year when drop scores kick in. David Vaughton in the blue lost a spot to Rob Nash. He's trying to get it back now into the S's, and he's done it. David Vaughton stays in 11th place. On board with Paul Williams in 17th place as we go down the Craner Curves of Buckmore Park, down into Paddock, which would be the old hairpin at Donington. Peter Kay's got a run on David Whitehouse over to Garda. Can he get it done? Kay's gone a long way wide. A chance for William Munro and a chance for Paul Williams. He's got that run on Roger Mullen. He's going to pick up 16th place. Vaughton still under pressure from Rob Nash in their fight over 11th. Liam Hitchin's lost out to Josh O'Hagan, so Hitchin down to 6th. Paul Williams now going to work on Peter Kay. Hand in the air, there's another yellow flag out. somebody off at the side of the road. I think that's Sam Bryce. So Sam Bryce has had heavy contact that's put him out. Or perhaps he spun it away, and look at that. David Whitehouse nearly put Rob Nash in the tyres. It's starting to get a little bit ugly, just a little bit too ambitious and aggressive. We're on board with Paul Williams. That's David Vaughton down the inside. He's done it. Paul Williams has cut through from the back of this field and is going well. Remember, he qualified from the second B final, was on the back row. David Vaughton trying to come back to him, fighting over 10th place now with the demise of Sam Bryce. But Paul Williams has had a stonking couple of laps and he's into the top 10. Battle for 5th place, Josh O'Hagan and Liam Hitchin rages on. William Munro down the inside of Paul Williams in a hairpin one. But the road's back in Paul's favour and Peter Kay will come through as well. William Munro looking to do the up and under there. But he's going to lose out to David Vaughan if he's not careful. He's got the door closed. James English has escaped from Dave Whitehouse. And they come piling down the hill once again. Shot from behind on Vaughton by James English. Pushes him in narrow. It's the crisscross on into Garda. It's from a long way back. He's going to be narrow and slow off the corner. And Dan French is trying the same manoeuvre on Rob Nash. And we come round to finish. Lap 8 for this second group. Fighting over 10th place with Paul Williams. Dwayne Marsden looking to the inside of Roger Mullen, and that's for 16th place, and he's through. And here comes Steve Billett as well. Mullen goes to defend. Oh, he gets it all wrong and runs wide. Down at the bottom of the hill, we're looking at the battle for the lead. Russell Endine under pressure from Anwar Barul-Smith. Liam Hitchens finally got that move done on Josh O'Hagan, and he's back in 5th place. It's all kicking off here in the second heavyweight final. The second B final nearly put me to sleep, but this one's on fire at Buckmore Park in the sunshine. Dave Whitehouse moving ahead of David Vaughton. Marsden to the inside as well. Battles right through the field. This is the Club 100, I know. Billett losing out to Vaughton and losing out to Philip Hudless. So Hudless through to about 16th place. Now back to the battle at the front of the field. It's Russell Endine in first place, leading Anwar Barul-Smith and Sam Fisher. You're probably looking at your championship top 3 at the end of the year if it continues to go with their current form. So back to the battle for 11th place, because I think Paul Williams has escaped. Oliver Hall down the inside of Hitchin. And now Oliver Hall moves through to 5th place. It's a revolving door over 5th place, and Josh O'Hagan is rubbing tyres with Liam Hitchin over start-finish. It's sapping momentum from the pair of them. Stuart Osborne might come back to them. And Paul Williams has picked off James English. And another lap goes in the books. Russell Endine, Anwar Barul-Smith and Sam Fisher have dropped. Paul Crawford in 4th place. There's Crawford. Gap then to Oliver Hall. Hitchin under pressure from Josh O'Hagan and Stuart Osborne. Back in the midfield for some more knockabout fun. Philip Hudless ahead here of Steve Billett, going down the inside of David Vaughton. Oh, gets a shot from Steve Billett, who spins himself out and half collects Gary Miller. Coming through to start lap 12. Russell Endine leads by 0.3 of a second from Anwar Barul-Smith. Sam Fisher is third. Paul Crawford, Oliver Hall, Liam Hitchin is your top 6. Dan French looking to the inside of Roger Mullen. Can't get it done. French stays in 21st position. Aaron Jones has been lapped. We've seen him off the road. David Whitehouse trying to close in on Peter Kay. This is the fight for 13th place. It's calmed down just a little, although I may have spoken too soon. Paul Williams and William Munro going at it over 10th place. Marsden to the inside of Whitehouse. Half done and it won't work. The momentum's with Whitehouse into the S's. And Paul Williams is lining up. William Munro. Munro runs wide in Symes and again in Pullman's. He'll be slow off this corner. Can Paul Williams get a run into Garda? He's going in very narrow. That means he's going to be slow. Trying to get the turn finished. And back on it for Senna. Up Herbert's Rise. They're rubbing tyres once again. It's Munro and James English. English taking to the grasscrete. Loses his momentum and Dave Whitehouse goes through and Munro pulls clear. And Marsden wants to be through as well. And I think Marsden's got the high ground of the inside into the corner. Yes, he has. He'll run English out wide. And that's been 3 corners for James English to forget, because Philip Hudless has pushed through as well. So Hudless moves up to 15th. coming through to start lap 14. And it's still ending Burrell Smith and Sam Fisher fairly close together. There's still some mileage left in this final, let me tell you. Josh O'Hagan once again on the bumper of Liam Hitchin as they fight over 6th place. Anwar Burrell Smith is waiting to get Russell Endine to himself. He's trying to drop Sam Fisher. Mistake there from O'Hagan. That's going to put Stuart Osborne on his bumper. Running downhill, gaining all the time, using the momentum down the hill. Philip Hudler sticking his nose in on Peter Kay, can't get it done. Kay stays in 14th for now, but runs wide, and Hudless has got him on the exit. But the momentum is with Peter Kay. So 14th place stays with Peter. Back on board with James English briefly. And here comes Liam Hitchin under pressure from Josh O'Hagan. Stuart Osborne not able to quite get on terms. O'Hagan sticks his nose in. He's half through. Can he finish it in hairpin one? No, he can't. But he has pushed Liam Hitchin in to defend. And at last, Anwar Burrell Smith is on the bumper of Russell Endine. With a lap and a half to go, we're in for a barnstorming finish of what's already been a superb, entertaining second final. And here comes Anwar Burrell Smith down the inside. Sooner than I thought, but when it's on, it's on. Endine looks to the inside in Garda, can't get back through. Now will he get a chance? We're coming round to start the final lap. Anwar Burrell Smith going for another win in Club 100 heavyweights onto the final lap. Hitchin is still under pressure from Josh O'Hagan and Stuart Osborne. What's going on for? Here we are then, into hairpin one. Russell Endine's running out of corners. Burrell Smith goes to cover, very narrow into hairpin two. A chance to keep the momentum up, maybe it's for Russell. Although Anwar's got out of that corner with a couple of kart lengths. Sam Fisher's been run out of this one. He's on the podium in 3rd place. Too far back for Paddock. He won't be close enough for Garda. Anwar Burrell Smith is heading to victory. Great move down at Paddock when it was on. It's going to be a 7th win of the season for Anwar Burrell Smith and a 10th podium of the season for Russell Endine. That means no change at the top of the championship. The gap is still 14 points. Sam Fisher adds another trophy here at Buckmore Park, which is going some in this company. Paul Crawford holds off Oliver Hall, Liam Hitchin, Josh O'Hagan, Stuart Osborne, Peter Jankowski, and Paul Williams rounds out the top 10. Join us again in 4 weeks' time for our second visit of the season to Clay Pigeon in Dorset for round 8 of the championship. Until next time, we'll leave you with a trophy presentation, and if it's great race action you want, then Just Racing Magazine is how you do it.
Our top 3 then. 3rd place went to driver 32, Sam Fisher. Runner-up then from grid 5 to finish 2nd. Well done, driver 29, Russell Endine. From grid 6 to come through to take the race winner maximum points. Congratulations, driver 36, Anwar Burrell Smith. Fantastic. Well done indeed, well done. Thank you very much. Those are top 3 in the head.